Hi everyone. So today I'll be sharing with you a very funny story of how my landlord reported me to the police. And I'll round up this video by showing you two very important lessons I think every entrepreneur have to take from this. As some of you know, in the year 2016, I had my first big breakthrough in the business world after I built my agri technology company, which was serving and making money from like 15 to 25 states in my country. Now, when you talk about my country, Nigeria, and you talk about money or commercial center, then you want to talk about Lagos. That is why it was not surprising that after I had my first business breakthrough, we discovered that most of our clients are Lagos based. And as time went by, I had to travel from where I was staying, a very small town, Ire or some state, uh, down to Lagos to meet with clients and, have business appointments and stuff like that. And there was this particular month, I think February of 2017, I had reason to come to Lagos for like 3 times within a month, and each of the time would cost me like 3, 4, 5 days. So when I returned home, I told my wife, we are moving to Lagos. I can't take traveling to Lagos, every time. Doesn't make sense. So we decided to move to Lagos. Now, when I got to Lagos, I got an apartment, and normal thing they do here is the landlord will ask you, what are you doing? You fill a form and they ask you, what are you doing? So I told my landlord, we have an agri consultancy business, because that was the perfect language he could understand. So he gave us his apartment, but something strange to him started happening, and that is the way we operate our businesses isn't as traditional as what he was expecting. And let me give you a picture here. In my country, wherever you mention agric or agriculture, the first image people see in their head is image of cutlasses and hoes. So my landlord was expecting that if truly I run an agricultural company, there should be cutlasses and hoes coming in and going out, of the office all the time. And secondly, people should be coming in and going out. However, against these two assumptions are two things. First, our agri technology company doesn't have anything to do with cutlasses, hoe, or even tractor. Instead, we operate by standing as intermediary between the farmers and people who are going to agri business. So how we operate is all around the country. I think we have about 250 associates, people who are farmers and they are in partnership with us. So we have website and YouTube channels where we get the client from, and we match, our client with the farmer. For example, you need our service and you are living in Imo State or Kaduna State. One of my staff is actually going to have phone conversation with you or chat with you via the mail and connect you with somebody in your state. So people don't have to come to the office for us to make our money. So there was no need for hoes and cutlasses, and there was no need for physical visitation of clients. Everything we do have to be done with phone and our computer. That actually confused my landlord. So one morning we resumed to the office. Some of my employees have actually sit down, and I was already working on the table. Then my wife saw somebody on our fence wearing black. Then she called me, come and see. When I got to that scene, I look and I saw people actually standing on our fence. I ran and I closed the door, because the first thing that came to my mind was armed robbers. And I was like, maybe we are gone. Maybe today is the day. I don't know. Just imagine. armed robbers storming your home. Then this guy came to our door and he was banging the door, open the door, open the door again, like an armed robber. Then I was replying him, no, we can't open the door. Then he said, we are policemen. I said, you can't be policemen. How can policemen jump fence to your home? We are policemen. You are not policemen. We are policemen. You are not policemen. Like this went on like for 30 minutes or an hour. Eventually, I felt like, oh, maybe these guys are policemen. And if they are not, what can we do? We opened the door and the guy came into the office and they were searching all our computer, searching the home, searching everywhere. You know, at this point, I was like, fine, because now I know they are policemen. So, okay, what can they do? They search everywhere, looking for evidences of maybe we are fraudsters, maybe internet fraudsters. Maybe we have some crimes we are committing in that apartment or whatever. After searching everywhere, they couldn't find anything. Then they went away. Now, my landlord living at the upstairs had to go out to go and meet them and give them money, which was kind of what made me to suspect, oh, this guy went to report us. And it is actually a normal thing because I am living in that apartment. I never go out except for exercise. And my employees come in to work, and the guy actually know that I'm fine financially. So how can you be staying indoor and you are richer than almost everybody around? Of course, that was a good reason to inform the police. Maybe these guys are criminals. Who knows? Okay, I have told you all these long and boring stories because of two things I want to teach you here. And those two things are, first, if you truly want to be successful in life, you have to operate a step ahead of everybody else. And second, you have to be prepared for the repercussion of that. So let me explain the first step. Mark Cuban said, for the last 1 decade, I have always lived my life thinking about where the world is going and how can I be there first. What does this mean? It means that you will only become successful in life if you have a deeper insight than most people. If everything you are seeing is what everybody else is seeing, there is no way you want to be a leader or become successful in any field. So how does this relate with what my landlord did? Very simple. The reason why my landlord was confused and reported me to the police was because I was a step ahead of the way people do business in my country. Mostly in my country, people still live like 50 years ago. Not in my country alone. Most places in the world, people really don't understand that this is 21st century. People still do their things the way their forefather did it. So they get confused when they see somebody doing something in a strange way. So maybe this guy is a criminal because he doesn't understand what I'm doing. And I think I'll give you another good example about that. Today, I tell people that I own a media company. And in my country, I don't know about your country, wherever people hear media company, the first thing that comes to their mind is radio, television. But guess what? Radio and television are media companies of 50 years ago, of 30 years ago. Today, the true media is on the internet. So let me ask you this question. What is media? Very simple. Media is any platform or avenue where you can reach 1,000, 20,000, 50,000 people through a single channel. So think about the internet. You reach millions of people. So today, my company reached millions of people via the internet every month. And you don't define that to be anything else. It is media. Now, when I meet people and they ask me, what do you do? And I told them the number of businesses I have, and one of them happened to be media company. Then they wonder, you own a radio or you own a TV? No, radio and television is media of 30 years ago. Internet is the media of today. Back to my story. When you start understanding the life and you start thinking the way I think, then people are confused because they don't understand what you are talking about. Like my landlord could not understand how a bunch of people will sit down in the office from morning to night and they are making money and they never leave home, and clients are not coming in and going out and coming in and going out, and which is traditional way of doing business. Your clients come to you, go out, come, go, come, go. So if you're having a business that is generating, let's say, $3,000 every month, we should be seeing 20, 30, 50 people coming to your office every day. Now you tell us you have this business and nobody is coming in and going out, you are likely to be a fraudster. So the first thing you have to understand, especially as an entrepreneur, is your duty is to be a step ahead of everybody else. You have to understand what is coming and what is new, and you have to key yourself into getting into that before everybody else. You have to be so smart that where the world will be in the next 1 decade is where you are today. What your mate will understand in the next 10 years is what you have understood today. The businesses that everybody will be doing in the next 1 decade is the business you are doing today. That is how every successful businesses are built. And let me give you another example, because I love examples so that you understand what I'm talking about. Amazon got started in the year 1995, 94, thereabout. You know how many people have e-commerce business in 1995? Maybe 5 people, maybe 10 people. The number is ridiculous. You know how many people have e-commerce business today? Maybe 5 million, maybe 10 million. That guy was where the world will be like 20 years before the world will catch up. When Steve Jobs was thinking about phone and computer, nobody in the world was thinking about that. The computer we were using was as big as a room. People who build successful anything are able to be ahead of their time. But Steve, can you explain to me how can I be in the future? I mean, I'm not getting it. How can I be in the future? That is actually very simple, Thomas. First, you have to delete some of your social media profile, and you have to spend less time in front of the TV, and you have to spend less time making excuses and complaining. Then you spend more time to read and learn and study and do. Very importantly, I have discovered from my personal experience that people who are able to understand the future are usually people who study yesterday. That is what I have discovered. I have discovered that history is the torchlight to the future. Maybe you should write that down. History is the torchlight to the future. So, if you want to understand where the world is going, maybe you should take some time to understand where the world is coming from. Now, the second thing I promised to share with you, that can be a kind of lesson from my experience, is that you have to really prepare your mind, especially as an entrepreneur. And you have to understand that if you will do the first thing I challenge you to do, which is understanding where the world is going and be there before them, then you have to also be prepared to be rejected, to be ridiculed, to be misunderstood, or to even be attacked, like the way my landlord, attacked me with the police. Because don't think people are going to be smiling with you or love you or be willing to support you when you are different, when you think different, when you are ahead of them. No, they will not understand you, and by the time they do not understand you, is it that they think you are doing something illegal, fraudulent, or secretive, or they just attack you. Like, for example, somebody in my family uh, said like 4 or 5 years ago, are you sure you are not doing internet fraud? You know why he thinks that way? He always see me with computer. And traditionally in my country, people who are always with computer are fraudsters. They are the one who carry computer all around. Serious people get jobs. Listen to this. In my country, in my country, traditionally, serious people wake up in the morning, put on their tie, and go to work. That is what serious people do. It is fraudsters that carry laptop all around. So when my family member always see me with a computer, of course, maybe I'm a fraudster because that is what they understand. But I was using that thing, I was using that computer, I was using this phone to actually build companies. So you have to get prepared. You have to be prepared that people will attack you. People will not be willing to support you. People will just do whatever they can to pull you down. That is the price I joyfully take for 8 years of my life. Because I know one day I'm going to be richer than these people. Today I'm richer than them. So if this video makes sense to you, don't forget 2 things I'm trying to emphasize there. You have to live ahead of your generation. That is very important. You have to be at least 10 years. It will be very good if you can live 20 years ahead of your generation. But 10 years is the minimum you can afford. You have to live ahead of your generation. And you have to be prepared to pay the price for that. Because really, you are going to suffer for it. Like the way I did in the hand of, a policeman in my country. Now, if this video makes sense to you, maybe you should subscribe. If you have not read my books, you have missed something. And that is, you have missed one of the best books in the world. I'm not the one that said this. People who read my books send me testimonials, give me calls and tell me, we can't believe you wrote those books. I wrote them. Now, I'm giving away one of them, which is 13 Secrets School Did Not Teach You About How to Be Rich. You can download right below this video. It is absolutely free. It has been downloaded by more than 300,000 times. So I think people do like it. You too should like it. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch my video. Do not forget, if truly you want to achieve something with your life, you have to be ahead of people, maybe a decade ahead of them. And yes, they will attack you for that. They will ridicule you for that. They will reject you for that. So take that as your cross and enjoy the ride.